Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids, where we're picking up part 2 of a collaboration with none other than MtgJedi. Dude, how are you?
What's up, man? Thank you so much for having me on the channel. I'm super pumped to do the part two here. Super pumped.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking all about, we did the first 7 factions over on MtgJedi's channel, the most underrated and some of also, just our kind of our favorite picks and underrated picks for champions for Hydra. I think we both surprised each other with really spicy picks in part 1, so we're going to be trying to do the same again here in part 2. But yeah, make sure to subscribe, obviously, to MtgJedi while you're over there checking it out. Just great raid content. You've got your website up as well. I know some of the most common questions, you're really good for this. Some of the most common questions I see from players, if you want the answer, go to MtgJedi. I get all the time, how good is this offer? I saw this new thing in my shop. What's going on? MtgJedi, you've got like a whole section on your website and everything, breaking all that stuff down, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of like the thing that I think people are coming to my site for. You know, I do a little bit of clan boss stuff over there too, whatever, but I think the pack offers is just like a needed thing. And I have, you know, all of the normal ones that we see on a regular basis, all over there with the easy rating system. And then I try to update, you know, with all the new offers we get in the shop as soon as I can there. So yeah, it's been growing pretty rapidly. I've been very pleased to provide that for the community.
Yeah, it's super, super cool. I try to spend as little as possible, but whenever I see the video, I'm like, I got to click on that video. I got to know how it breaks down, how it compares. All right, well, let's dive into this then. We're picking it up over at with the Orc faction. I found this one pretty hard to pick, like the special picks for Hydra and stuff like that. I feel like it's not the best, but do you have any champion here that you use?
I do.
Oh,
I do. I have one that I actually love for Hydra.
Okay.
Who I think is just undervalued in the entire game. And shout out to a regular from my stream, William, who is like #1 supporter of my Twitch channel. He's been telling me for such a long time about old Hermit Jorg. And then I started using him just as like a free-to-play, you know, this is a champion you might have on your account. And I was just really impressed. His A1 has an HP burn. And then his A2 is an increase attack, increase turn meter fill. And then he has the random revive. But usually you're not going to have your whole team dead. So he's going to revive them and protect them. I found him to be very, very useful, especially for normal Hydra, as a super budget option that brings a lot of utility to your team. He's very survivable, and just lots of people have him. So he's, you know, a little creeper carrying around some extra hands, but but I think he's an excellent option for you.
Yeah, that's super cool. I forgot that he did the HP burn on his A1. That's really, really cool. Yeah. My girlfriend used him for a while on her account as when she was starting out as like the increased attack turn meter booster. I must
for like arena.
Yeah, for arena, because obviously didn't have arbiter, didn't have seeker, anything like that. He's really good for that, and that's sick for Hydra. Okay, let's go back in. Technical hitch. My Discord's causing us some trouble. The champion I was going to pick, I don't know if you got to hear any of what I was saying there, is Angar.
Angar.
Yes.
Okay.
So Void Legendary, and this is specifically since the Hydra nerf, because he comes in with his A2, which is an AoE that provokes on a 3-turn cooldown. So he can provoke Head of Decay, and he's Void, so it doesn't matter what the affinity is. Reflect damage on everyone, kind of bad, but he gives himself counterattack for 2 turns. So the idea here is that, hey, you can have a Mischief tank that provokes Head of Decay and tanks Mischief by having counterattack buff on himself. And then with his passive, he's got that 50% chance to provoke whenever an enemy with provoke attacks. So it's a really good chance on top of his guaranteed provoke on the A2. But every time Decay then takes a turn, he could just re-provoke him potentially, which is kind of nice. So yeah, he's an interesting one. I'm not 100% sure if he's amazing, but it's one that the comment section's been calling out, and he's definitely got some potential. So yeah, I said I'd talk about him here.
Yeah, that's super cool. I was not expecting Angar to be mentioned.
Yeah, no.
I
Spicy
I
pick.
think I think people already know about Duck, but
Yeah.
if they don't, decrease attack, decrease defense is super super good.
Hmm.
Um, but maybe he could be your mischief tank as well. Reflect damage, unkillable.
Yeah, possibly. He does have 45 base resistance. And yeah, I think it's tricky to make him work, but probably a good idea because then you could use him to provoke decay a little bit as well.
Right, right.
Spicy pick for sure. But yeah, he's really good. He's really good.
Yeah,
Um,
but I haven't used him myself. I just think, he's a good choice.
yeah. Okay, let's go over to the demon spawn, where we have an absolute metric ton of champions here, ridiculous amount. Do you have anyone that you think is like underrated here in this set?
Well, I think that she's a crazy good champion, so I don't know if people think she's underrated, but I
Hmm.
don't ever see anyone talking about Wither for Hydra. And
Ah,
I think that that's just because um, people undervalue the cleanse. I
yeah.
obviously that we were talking a lot about cleansers over on part one on my channel,
Hmm.
but I value that cleanse very highly in my teams. It's something I try to have in every Hydra team.
Yeah.
And then if you also pair her with somebody that places continuous heals,
Hmm.
she's going to increase the duration there. And then she has the AoE A1 that has the potential to place the leech.
Yep.
I build her with really high resistance as well. That's how I like to have her built on my account.
Hmm.
And I've used her in a lot of different teams for Hydra.
Yeah, she's really good. She's really good. I've tried her a little bit. The only thing is her A1 completely breaks any mischief tanking because it's random continuous heals. But
Yeah,
if you've got a good block buff champion in there that can really
yeah,
consistently get block buffs on mischief and stop that, can actually be
yeah.
sometimes you could even do some cheeky strategies, I think, where you let the Hydra heads actually steal the heals and heal up.
Yeah.
I've never successfully done a run doing that, but I think someone eventually is going to do it, where they make like the perfect
Hmm.
strat for those four starting heads, and they're like, take my heal mischief, spread it
Yeah.
around, keep everyone full health there. Let's go. This is perfect. I don't want those two heads that are
Right,
out of the
right.
start. I don't know. There could be some spicy things like mega keep
I've
torments
definitely
alive.
tried.
Yeah.
I've definitely tried to do that. Yes, I have, but not successfully. Not
Okay.
successfully.
It's hard to make work, but yeah, she's insane. Like the amount of healing that she does, the amount of
Yeah,
protection for your team, it's crazy. She's super
it
good.
is. It is. Yeah, for sure.
All right, my pick is okay, a champion that's known to be really good, but I think that people underestimate just how good he is for Hydra, like getting into it, and that's Drexstar Blood Twin. Um,
Oh,
yeah, so
okay.
I'm not sure if he's maybe I'm stretching the underrated thing a little bit, but I think people
No, I definitely think he's underrated. I
yeah.
I was I was surprised by your pick, so I agree he's
Okay.
underrated.
Well, there.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
what I think is so good about him is that it's very easy. Like to get in. It number one, you get him from the bazaar from 3v3.
Hmm.
So he's a champion you can get within 6 months of playing the game, and you bring him in, and his passive is so insanely good. Right, it books up to what is that to a 75% chance to put a HP burn
Hmm.
on attackers when they hit him. You can with masteries up that to 80% chance, which is super high. He gets bonus resistance with those HP burns as well. So not only does he help you with Hydra, but he can be insane for
Oh,
half of the Doom Tower bosses. Um, yeah, he's just so good. You build him with good enough accuracy. You can even rely on his aura if you need to, starting out. And you build him with good resistance. If you can get him to like 400 resist ish, his passive can make up the rest, and he can be your mischief tank. Just have him with no speed. He's no self buffs at all, but he's just so slow because he's just a big old fiery punching bag. And
yeah.
yeah, it's like such a good way to get into the Hydra. I've even used him like not in a mischief tanking capacity, just as like he's just there as a nice budget option because when you're up against the head of Blight and you can't stop it putting out the poison cloud, like you don't have a good provoker to lock down decay or whatever, because he burns them whenever they hit him, he actually gets those burns onto the heads through the poison cloud really consistently, and you can actually
Huh.
get on with your run. Whereas it can be so frustrating, it's so frustrating when you're
Yeah,
sitting there and you just
I
wait, you
know.
just like, I gotta wait like 2 turns on each of these damn heads before I can hit them again. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I found him really good for that. plus the provoke now as well, actually, which is great.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
so yeah, Drexstar,
That is a great choice. That is a great choice.
cool.
Now, you mentioned bomb champions being with War Mother being so great. Do you
Yes.
think Lord Chazar is going to have a place now, or is
Mhm.
that one of those we're going to have to wait and see kind of things?
Yeah, I'm very interested. I did try him before, and his bomb damage was not good enough. But
Okay.
as you know, she's getting buffed in the next patch. We don't know about
Yeah.
how much, but they said
Right.
they're upping his bomb damage. So if they do, then I think potentially, yeah, he could be really good. It's got a long enough
Yeah.
cooldown on the bomb move. So yeah, I think he could have some potential. I don't think he's as good as War Mother or Gaius and stuff like that, but
Mm.
depends how much they buff the bombs.
Right. True.
All right. Next up is Undead Hordes. Lots of insane champions here in this faction.
For sure.
Who's your pick here? Who are you picking?
Who am I picking from this faction? Um, I don't really think that anybody I'm gonna pick is underrated. I
Okay.
really don't. Um, but we mentioned Little Miss Annie over on my channel, and
Yes.
so I guess I'm gonna call her out
Nice.
because she's super fun, and I
Mm,
think a lot of people want to use her, but they don't know where to use her, and she makes just a really fun Hydra normal team. You probably can't use her on hard or higher, but on normal, she does a ridiculous amount of damage. And then you just pair her with a reviver. Whoever reviver you have on your account, when she dies, then she pops back up, gets some free hits. And what I do when I was using her is I just normally use her A1 to
hmm
kill whatever head. Once you kill that head, then you use her A2 and her A3 to deal massive amounts of damage to the stub.
Yeah. That's smart. And her
Yeah,
A3 is like hits ridiculously hard, doesn't
it
it?
is.
How
Yeah.
hard is she gonna hit for you, like against a decapitated head, roughly with that
Like
A3?
honestly, if I have all of everything lined up, I think
Mm.
she did 1,000,000 damage.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
uh,
But you have to it's so hard to have everything line up with the
yeah.
increased attack and all of the decreased defense and the weaken to have all of that lined up at one time.
Yeah.
So usually she's hitting for a couple 100,000 though,
hmm
on that A3.
Yeah.
But yeah, one time we got everything to line up right and it was massive.
Yeah. More technical difficulties, but we're back. So we just had Little Miss Annie for your pick, which I really like. I
Right.
think that's a really fun spicy pick. I'm gonna go with Euros the Soul Cage as my spicy pick. Now, this is something I've not tested. I'm not sure if it works, but I think he's very underrated because, at least for me, and I think for a lot of people, you get him and you're like, I'm going to build him as my Scarab solo champion. And
Right.
he's kind of stuck in that box the whole time. But I
Hmm.
think when we actually look at him, I think he's got good potential for Hydra. Number one, he's got insane stats, but then he brings strengthen and ally protection on your whole team on a short cooldown. So for keeping them alive, he's putting out poison whenever he's attacked. So all those AoE attacks on the heads that are vulnerable to poison, he's going to poison them. He can potentially provoke Head of Decay. He's got a 50-50 chance. In fact, sorry, it books up to 75% chance to provoke if they attack anyone under strengthen.
Okay.
So he can fairly consistently lock down the Head of Decay. And then he can also potentially put AoE decreased speed on Hydra heads that are under 2 or more poison debuffs. So it's situational, right? There's not that many heads vulnerable, but I just look at him and thinking, maybe. And something I've never got to work, but would be so fun. I'd love to do the whole Euros plus Rian the Conjurer plus
Ah,
Akoth.
Yeah.
I find like it's hard to make it work because the Euros and Akoth are just so tanky. But maybe there's something spicy in there, some crazy cool team that you could do with reviving them and triggering those extra attacks and like some fun stuff like that. But
That would be sweet.
yeah,
So when you're building your mischief tanks, do you build them the slowest in the team?
it depends on the tank. Yeah, it depends on the tank.
Okay.
Um,
Because I noticed on
hmm,
Euros A1, he places a shield on himself,
yeah.
and that's like that A1 self buff is a really good mischief tank ability, right?
Yeah, it could be. You'd have to turn off the A3 because he. Oh no, he does strengthen himself, but he puts ally
Hmm.
protection on everyone else, but not himself. So with the shield, it would be
Oh,
equal. So I think that's the tricky thing. But you're right. There
okay.
could be potential. Like there, it's possible that there's some setups where you wouldn't need him to do his A3, and then he could take over mischief tanking, or even just sort
Okay.
of incidentally provide some. So I'm not sure. I don't know. It's just hard to test him because everyone's got him
Yeah.
in like their Scarab solo build, but
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
for
he's
sure.
one to keep an eye on. All right.
All right, I'll call out one more
Oh,
person here.
sure. Yeah.
I feel like we need a super spicy pick for
Okay.
Undead,
Okay.
and she's on my list. I have her maxed out, but I haven't actually put her to work yet. So if you guys want to see this video, just let me know and I can make it. Is Dark Aethel.
What? You're kidding, right?
Dart, I am not kidding you. I am
Oh
not kidding
god.
you. I needed
Oh.
a random champion like 3 months ago. I needed a random champion to max out for like champion training for the Krisk Mashal tournament.
Yeah.
And so I was like, whatever, okay, I'll do Dark Aethel. But okay, so she just hear me out, okay?
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
A1, she has decreased defense. Okay,
Yeah.
so if your other decreased defense champion isn't keeping decreased defense up the whole time, she's going to help you out there. It's a reasonable chance to place it. Okay, and it's a double hitter, so you're probably going to place decreased defense on her A1. But her A2 places the big version of decreased speed at
Mm-hmm.
a 75% chance. It's a 4 turn cooldown and it's an AoE.
Mm-hmm.
So I think decreased speed is maybe the most undervalued of all the abilities in Hydra. If you have increased speed on your team and decreased speed on the Hydra, you start generating a lot of extra attacks that you wouldn't normally have.
Yes.
And she actually does both, right? Because then on her A3, she puts the increased speed on herself. Oh no, only if she kills. Okay, okay.
I
Well, I
mean,
may have
you could
misread.
you could maybe if you were super lucky and it lined
Yeah.
up perfectly, but
Yeah, but she does have an AoE there as well. And
true.
so
Mm-hmm.
I just think that, especially for people with limited rosters,
Mm.
but I think she's just like a super cool, potentially
Yeah.
decent champion, but I have yet to actually test her out.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Like it's there's not that many good decreased speed champions that you can get
Right.
on a budget. Like,
Exactly.
I mean, we'd all love to have a Lady Kimmy, but we probably
Right.
all don't have a Lady Kimmy or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, nice, interesting. I would love to see. I'm gonna look forward to seeing you if you do commit and actually pull
Okay.
through the Dark
Okay.
Aethel. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
That
Okay.
that's super spicy. All right, let's go to Dark Elves. I'll jump in first for this one then, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a bunch of good champions here. Now, one I think is really good potential, really, really good potential. I got to call her out as the underrated pick. Is Lanicus the Chosen?
Okay.
And I actually have her built. She's on my list of champions to return to for Hydra. But what Lanicus does, several things that are quite intriguing. She does have increased crit rate, increased attack for your team that can give her an extra turn. Very random, the whole extra turn thing, but
Yeah.
potentially a source of that if you need it, like the increased attack. The big thing, of course, is her A2. Uh, 3 random allies join in for an ally attack. So it's not a perfect ally attack, but it can add up to a good chunk of extra damage, 30% turn meter fill, and buff extension as well. And then she also can give herself continuous heals on her A1, and you can make that very consistent if you build her with
Mm.
crit. So for me, she's an very, very intriguing champ because she doesn't hit that hard. So I do think you could build her very fast, very high resistance, and full crit rate. Um,
Okay.
and just have her critting and getting continuous heals, tanking mischief while also providing ally attacks and a bunch of
Mm.
turn meter and extending those
Yeah.
buffs as well. Like, yeah, I don't know. I think she's got so much potential.
I might have to try that one.
Yeah.
I got her like, and I feel like she's just underrated in general
Yeah.
because her A3 is bogus.
Yeah.
right? This is a legendary champion.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Mm.
Just make this be always gets an extra turn.
Yes.
She would
Definitely.
see so much more play. She just always gets an extra turn. We have plenty of champions with abilities that are better than this that get an extra turn. I love this pick. I
Mm.
absolutely love this pick. I think she's super underrated and she could be really, really fun. I'm just thinking I really want to try her with Venus and Cupidus.
Oh, yeah. I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
And because Cupidus can give himself increase attack with his A3, and she
Yeah.
can extend it, she doesn't even necessarily need to start messing around with the extra turn thing.
Right.
Yeah, she's cool though. I'm sort of been inspired. I've been trying to do cool stuff with her for a while. I think was it Murder Inc. that did like the double Lanicus clan boss
Yeah.
thing. Like there's
Yeah, I think so.
some cool stuff with that. So she's a cool
Yeah.
champ. So there you go. What's your pick then? It's tough.
I
There's
guess
so many good
I'm
ones.
gonna say Caden here. I'm gonna say
Oh,
Caden here.
yeah, yeah,
I think like a lot of people just need to find a way to fit in decrease attack for survivability,
yeah.
and he also brings that revive, you know.
Hmm.
And now that we can provoke, it's a very low chance, but if you had another champion whose job it was to provoke, and then if they, got a 3% resist, he could come in and give you a chance to have a provoke. Maybe even putting him in a taunting set could be an option as well.
Yeah.
Just so that you get that option more, a more percent of what am I saying? A higher percentage of the time you'd be able to provoke.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people have him for faction wars because he's S tier for faction wars.
Yeah.
So he's just like an easy champion that you might already have built to slot into a Hydra team.
100%. Yeah, I was actually thinking when you were saying it that he'd actually be insane for Dark Elf Faction Wars in a taunting set because you're going up
Yeah.
against like the Valkyries and the Martyrs, all the counter attack applying champs. Like lock them out
Right.
of it, with
Mhm.
taunts.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like it. Nice, cool. Caden,
Yeah.
he's an awesome looking champion as well.
Yeah,
He's
I think
like
he's cool.
armored up dad bod. Is like yes.
Yeah. And he's a short little elf too.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we've got the Knights Revenant. Do you want to go two in a row? Do you want to pick a champion here to start us off?
2 in a row. Yeah, absolutely. I think initially that
Mm-hmm.
Senecio was like S tier for Hydra
Yep.
until we had that mastery nerf. But the more and more I've been thinking about it, I think we need to bring her back.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, when Hydra first came out, it was like, how many Senacious can we put in the team? Let's build them all. And I built 2. I needed help in Knights Rev Faction Wars. I built 2 Senacious. I had the most fun I've ever had playing Raid with that team before the nerf. It was so fun. I'm sad that they nerfed it, to be honest, but I get it. But, again, any champion with an AoE A1 is going to have a super high potential for damage with those War Master procs. But then she's going to double hit if they have less than 50% HP.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually tried her out with Giant Slayer because you were getting all of those extra attacks.
Mm-hmm.
And
Interesting.
like the A2 is going to heal a pretty big chunk on your lowest ally, lowest HP ally. Obviously, you're not going to get the skill cooldown. But then the equalize HP of all allies is really useful because a lot of times you have like 1 or 2 champions, usually your damage dealers, who take all the damage. Everybody else is like pretty high, so
Yeah.
equalizing is just a really powerful heal. So I think that she's definitely needs to make a comeback in Hydra. I think she definitely has a spot. Could be a good pair with your Lanicus pick as well.
Yes. Super fun. Yeah, really strong.
So yeah, I think she's a good pick. She provides a lot of utility
Nice.
there.
Do you remember how the extra hit works on decapitated heads? Does that count as below 50%?
Don't remember. No,
Yeah.
I don't
Interesting.
think that it does.
Okay.
But
So yeah.
I don't know. I don't. It's been too long.
Yeah. That'd be really interesting to see. Or like Skullcrown. If it's not Sinacia, then Skullcrown would do it. Though I think, as you said,
Yeah.
Sinatia's much better for Hydra than Skullcrown would be with the heals.
Yeah, but if you put accuracy,
Yeah.
on Skullcrown so that she's landing the weaken,
That's true.
then you could use like just a decreased defense champion,
Yeah.
like Duck the Pierced, for example, who just does decreased defense.
That's true. I kind of forgot that Skullcrown even has the
Yeah,
weaken.
nobody ever builds her with
No.
accuracy because she's just such a good damage dealer.
Yeah. Okay, right. For my pick, I'm sticking with the epics here as well. I had kind of two that were springing to mind. I ultimately have decided to settle with Golden Reaper as my choice here.
Oh no, you didn't. Oh no, you didn't.
I did. What, do you not like Golden Reaper?
She's my least favorite champion in the entire game.
Okay, cool. Let me try to convince you otherwise.
All right, you try.
All right. Here we go. Check this insane kit. Probably the best champion in the game. Actually, I'm looking at that. 111 base speed is actually crazy. She's faster than Arbiter, which is nuts.
I give you that.
She's super fast, so she brings you the increased speed with that turn meter boost, better turn meter boost than forget Apothecary, forget everyone else. She's got an extra 5% turn meter. That's a complete game changer. Like,
it is.
Your runs will change completely with that. But then it gets better. AoE on her A2, that puts decreased attack. Not 100% chance now. It's 75%.
That's what I'm saying,
but
dude.
3 times out of 4, you're safe from wrath. That 1 out of 4 times, it's fine. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine. But she's void affinity, so it's kind of like if she was like a blue affinity and it weak hit or something. It's totally fine. And
okay.
Yeah. But then her A1 actually is genuinely really good. If you get her in revenge accessories, this is super underrated for real, which is 50% chance to decrease the cooldown of a random ally skill by 1 turn. Like, with those counterattacks, like when she starts triggering these counterattacks, that can actually be really useful. Like if she's in there with let's say a Royal Guard or a Husk and a Geomancer, that's like almost half your team. If she gets a cooldown decrease on them, like you decrease Geomancer's burn or the Royal Guard AoE slam, that's a ton of damage that she's actually sort of putting out that sort of it slides under the radar, but actually ends up being quite useful. Or like you get back around to like your heal faster, you get it back up on time, that sort of stuff. Actually kind of a clutch little A1 that's kind of useless everywhere else, but pretty good for this. So there you go.
Let's propose some buffs to this champion while we're talking about her. I would be willing to test her out if Polarium would change her A1 to AoE and make her A2 100% chance with books.
Then that make her really strong. Yeah, I like that.
That would make her really strong.
Yeah,
and then she would be a decent champion. But I support you in your love of this champion.
All right.
But she's not for me.
Fair. That's
I
fair.
want to slip in. I want to slip in a little plug for Necro Hunter.
Oh yeah.
Because I think that this guy, people still don't know how much damage he can do.
No.
He can be your arena nuker, and if he's your arena nuker, then you might as well throw him in here and then do some damage on normal Hydra. So I just think he's a good option, especially for like an early game player who, this is their main damage dealer. He can do some work for you. And I really enjoyed making the video on him, so I wanted to just slip that in there. He's a super fun champion that not a lot of people know about.
Yeah, I like that a lot because he was buffed so recently. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Really, right. His A1's really strong too, actually.
Yeah.
Was it 65% chance decreased defense on each hit? It's a really good chance for single target decreased defense. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, good call.
Basically 100% chance.
Yeah.
You're very, very likely to place that.
Yeah, nice. I like it. All right. We're getting spicy. We got 2 factions to go. Here we go. Dwarves. Okay, so I've got a spicy pick, actually inspired by MtgJedi for this one. But do you want to go first?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Let me hear your spicy pick.
So the spicy pick, Runekeeper Dazdurk.
Oh, okay. I was actually
Yeah.
hoping you were gonna say that.
Ah, nice. Yeah, so Deadwood whipped this guy out in the recent Clan Boss tournament. I don't think he
Yeah.
ended up using him. He actually opted for Arbiter in his team in the end.
Yeah.
But Runekeeper Dazdirk, very, very good champion that does a lot of what Arbiter does, but very well
Right.
suited for Hydra. So on his A1, he's got a 45% chance to leech. That's pretty
Mm-hmm.
nice. Extra bit of healing, especially a ton of healing whenever you decapitate a head. Get that leech on
Yeah.
the head. Boom, you're really good. On his
Right.
A2, Arbiter style skill, increase attack, 25% turn meter. Very similar to what Arbiter does. And then on his A3, this is what you'll like, it's the cleanse. Full team cleanse.
Yeah.
Heals all your team based off of his max HP. He's got 20k base, big heal. And also continuous heal for 2 turns on allies that have debuffs removed. So even more healing. So he's doing a lot of healing, lots of cleansing, increased attack turn meter, the leech. He has an attack in all battles aura if you need one, and he's got really solid base stats as well. Yeah, I think super underrated. Like when you've got your Arbiter in an arena build and maybe she's too squishy or whatnot, especially if you're early game, she's got speed and nothing else, you know?
Right.
Don't sleep on Runekeeper Dazdirk. You can bring this guy in and he can not only protect your team, but speed them up and boost their damage as well. So I think
Yeah, he
he's
kind of
cool.
seems similar to Old Hermit Jorg, so
Yes.
that seems right up my alley for sure.
Yes, very similar. Yeah,
Yeah.
the thing this
Yeah.
guy's lacking is the revive. You're not going to have the revive with
Mm.
him that you would with like Hermit or Arbiter.
Okay.
But hopefully he should make up for it by the fact that his heal is very, very strong.
Right. Right.
But yeah, there you go.
Well, I know a lot of people have seen me use Herndig, but I don't think it's like, oh, Herndig can do a lot of damage. I don't think that's really underrated.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna call out Melga here.
Ah,
Uh,
yes.
I think you need some survivability as part of your team.
Hmm.
Um, and I think a lot of times we get caught with the Hydra heads having debuff or having um, debuffs on ourselves that we need to get rid of. And so, like her A1 with the chance to remove a random debuff from an ally,
Hmm.
I think that's just like a nice thing to have. Like it'll help once in a while. Obviously not the whole point of her kit, but definitely helpful. But her shield is just really potent. She
Hmm.
puts the 20% shield and continuous heal buff on all allies. And that just gives you a lot of survivability. And then obviously the revive is going to be helpful as well.
Yep.
So I think that she's definitely a good choice, especially if you're hitting normal.
Hmm.
And maybe not like a super crazy kit or anything, but definitely one that can give you some help for sure.
Yeah, I like her a lot. I mean, if she comes in, even that A1, like if that rips off that heal reduction, that can be the thing that messes up your run sometimes, you know?
Oh,
He'll,
for sure. Absolutely.
yeah, she's a great champ. Really nice. Cool. Okay, well, that brings us to the final faction. Oh my goodness. Do you want to have the second to last say, or do you want to have the last pick of the video, man? I'm gonna leave that up to you. It's your choice.
My choice, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man, it's such a good choice. No, I'll let you go first.
Okay, I will go first. So this is a champion I'm building up at the moment. I don't know if I've seen anyone really use her, but it's Sachi. I'm very curious about
Okay.
Sachi in Hydra. So what does she do? Well, obviously her big move is the 3-turn cooldown. Increase attack with 20% turn meter fill. So a nice little bit of a speed boosting with increased attack. Her A2, she can put out a single target leech, guaranteed. So a little bit of healing. But the thing that's interesting to me is her A1 is an AoE with decreased accuracy. So I'm really curious to try her out in like a counterattack based team. So I'm thinking of throwing her in with something like an Aboro, who's actually in the same faction, who's got a really
Hmm.
powerful like decreased defense attack on her A1. And like you throw like imagine them in with something like a Valkyrie where you've got the shields, so you don't need a ton of healing. And maybe you could
Hmm.
rely on that leech from Sachi to get you through. You want someone with that increased
Interesting.
attack. And then you're looking for as many sort of AoE A1s as you can. I don't know. I think she's got some potential. I think it'd be fun. And I've never seen anyone ever use her for Hydra either. So
No,
yeah,
no.
so that's my spicy pick. I think that she's got some interesting potential for sure. So there you go.
All right, all right. Yeah, I was not expecting that.
No.
That's a great choice, my dude. That is a great choice.
There we go.
If you put that video out, I'm definitely watching that one.
All
So
right.
you gotta click from me on that video.
I'm working. I'll prove it to the viewers. I'll bring up my champ collection. I'll show you
Yeah.
guys. I don't think she's got gear, but oh, where is she? She's leveling up. I'm working on her. There she is. Level 9,
Okay.
6-star ascended. Oh, she's got gear. Oh, spoilers. Well, keep that secret. Don't want to give away
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So you ready
last-
for my super spicy pick?
Yes, the final pick of the video.
The final pick of the video is the shocker of the video, and that is Noble.
What? Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm just
What?
kidding. I'm
No.
totally kidding.
Oh my god. I was like, wait a second here. What has he got? Okay.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to throw that in there just for a good fun little joke. But
All right.
I love Kyoku, but I don't think
Mhm.
she's underrated. My pick is actually kind of surprising, I think, and that's going to be Masamoto.
Massimo, I don't even know who that is. Oh, it's this
Yeah.
guy. Oh yeah.
So this is a guy who I've always wanted to build on my account. I have never had a purpose for him until Hydra came out, and I have yet to be able to get to test him.
Mhm.
But he has this chance on his A1 to steal a random buff, and he's book intensive. Like we have 8 books on the A1, so but like after
Yeah.
that, you have like an okay chance to steal a random buff.
Mhm.
Like the reflect damage buff comes to mind.
Yeah.
That buff just destroys me sometimes. And so like the thought of trying to steal that is very appealing to me. But he's another champion to give you decrease attack that's going to provide some utility. Like when I'm thinking about champions to include in my Hydra teams, we want to like multitask with different abilities in the same kit. So we have a chance to steal buffs, we have decreased attack, and then we actually have an increased defense and turn meter fill for survivability and some speed. You know, it's not a crazy turn meter fill with 15%, but that is an ability that's providing survivability and speed, and so it provides a pretty interesting kit as a choice for Hydra. And his base stats are pretty decent. You know, he's got a really good base defense, and his base HP is okay as well.
Yeah, he's a cool champ. Yeah. Increased defense plus decreased attack. Thanks, Head of Wrath. Chance as well to remove. Like, yeah, that's actually nice. I like that because Head of Wrath is very, very hard when you don't have all the champions. You know, because he gets that increased attack, the block buffs. You're like, yeah, this guy brings all the answers for it. Nice, I like it.
And I think he was part of a fusion too, so people might have him just sitting around in their vault unused.
Yeah, there's a good chance for sure. All right, well, dude, thank you so much for joining me today for part 2 here. It was really fun. The spice has been flowing today through both videos, both channels with all these picks. Hopefully everyone watching, hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, reminder, hop on over to MtgJedi's channel and check out part 1 of the video. We cover the first 7 factions. And do you want to say anything for the end of the video here?
You know, I just appreciate, you know, hooking up here and doing these videos. I think it's awesome when we can do this stuff for the community. It's super fun for us and then super helpful for the community to get more than one perspective. So I just want to thank you for having me on.
Yeah, you're very welcome. It's been an absolute pleasure. All right, guys, thanks for watching. See you all next time. Bye-bye.